Alright, I'm here with an updated look at my Nintendo Switch collection for 2022, early 2023. Switch collection is getting big. It's over 100 games now, and the library's huge. There's so many good games on it, and I'm pretty happy with where I'm at with my collection. But I gotta say, with the Switch overall this year is where I'm finally really starting to feel a little bit like the system's getting a little long in the tooth. I'd love to see just a little bit more powerful Switch or something, because right now, I don't know, it's getting a little frustrating. The tech is just not there, and when even first-party Nintendo games are having some problems running, you know that something is amiss. But we will jump into the Switch library that I've collected and give some thoughts on each game. This video is going to probably be way too long, but we'll see how it goes. Got here AI, the Somnium Files, and AI, the Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative. So these are both really great mystery adventure games. And I can't recommend these ones enough. They're from Spike Chunsoft and Kotaro Uchikoshi, who did the Zero Escape series. And yeah, these are just really, really quality, really riveting games. Just, they get wild. I'll say that much. I think the twist in the first game is pretty wild. The twist in the second game is crazy. Just, if you like any kind of Danganronpa, Ace Attorney, you know, anything like that, and you've not played these ones, I don't know what you're doing. They're a little bit more gameplay heavy than, you know, your typical text kind of adventure types games. And they're great. So definitely check these ones out. Also available on like PC, PS4, I think on Xbox. America's Greatest Game Shows. Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. Shout out to Sky85 for this one. Got this one in a White Elephant gift. I'll destroy any of you at Jeopardy, and it won't even be close. Animal Crossing New Horizons. So I bought this one and kept it sealed because I got a digital copy to play, just because I wanted it to always be on my Switch. I like New Horizons a lot. I think New Leaf is a stronger game overall, but I like New Horizons a lot. I think the biggest problem it has is that it wasn't its fault, is when it came out and everyone had nothing to do, so we were playing this game for like 5 hours a day, and then we ran out of content. I think it started to become Nintendo's fault when they, sell a game, 40 million copies or whatever this game sold, and they really pulled the plug on updates a lot faster than I think most of us thought, but still had a lot of fun with this one. Still think it's a great game. ARMS, I liked this one a lot. It's not one I come back to super often anymore, but I liked this one a lot. Really fun, like 3D fighter with, obviously big, long, stretchy arms. Yeah, really good game. I really liked it. I think it was a good time and a cool game to have on the Switch that first year. I don't know. I'd like to see something. I think the characters and the character designs are really cool. I'd like to see something kind of changed up, and maybe a sequel with some added, maybe a more in-depth single-player modes could be really good. Astral Chain, one of my pile of shame games. I've still not finished this one. I gotta probably just restart it. But I liked what I played quite a bit. I was really impressed with it. One of the most impressive games on the Switch graphically. Which is, I just don't get what's going on with Switch optimization. I don't know if it was a COVID problem or something, but this is a game that looks, good, and it runs at 30 FPS stably. And I just don't know what happened that we're not at that point right now. Like, I feel like early Switch games are looking a lot better than later Switch games, and I'm just not sure if that's an optimization problem or what, but really cool game. Really cool aesthetic. Atelier Ryza, Ever Darkness in the Secret Hideout. I haven't played this one. It's still sealed. I've heard good things about these ones. I've never played the Atelier games because I, for a while, just kind of wrote them off as, like, kind of crap. Because they put out... I feel like on the PS3, they just genuinely put out, like, 5 Atelier games a year. I don't know what was going on with that series, but I've heard this Ryza series is good. They're up to the 3rd one now, but I haven't played it. I got the original Bayonetta. This was just kind of a weird release that they did. I have it sealed because I played it actually recently on the PS4 Vanquish, double pack. But yeah, yeah, this is just weird that they decided to release this. I think probably so that you could have a physical cartridge for this game to put in the Bayonetta 3 Collector's Edition. But first Bayonetta game's pretty fun. I don't like it as much as the second one or the third one, which the third, liking it less than the third one might be a little bit controversial, but still a good, game. Very important game for Platinum, and I think action games as a whole. Bayonetta 3, this one came out this year. I liked it. I don't... I'm not crazy about a lot of the things it did, and I did a video recently when I talked about some games I've been playing recently and talked about my experiences with this one. I think it's a good game. I feel like I tried to do too much. I feel like the story is genuinely awful, and I've never really cared much for the Bayonetta story, but I feel like this game's story is just abysmal. But action gameplay is second to none. Like it's so good. When Platinum is just firing on all cylinders, they are just so good at what they do, and I wish we got more of that Platinum and less Babylon's Fall Platinum games. But still a good game, even if it had a little bit of shortcomings. Probably shouldn't have released it, or, announced it so early. Blaze Blow Cross Tag Battle. I was going to say Blaze Bag. I don't know why. Yeah, this is just a crossover Arc Systems Works fighter. I kind of just got it because it has Persona 4 Arena stuff in it, but I always really liked Arc System Works' fighters. They're really impressive, even if I'm not the biggest, fighting game person. I still think that what they do is really impressive. Bravely Default 2. I got this on clearance at Walmart for like half price. I didn't really like the first Bravely Default. I thought it was kind of boring. So that means I had to go buy Bravely Second and never play that, and then buy Bravely Default 2 and never play that, because I have some kind of brain worm. I have some kind of problem. I don't know. Cadence of Hyrule, I have this one sealed as well. I bought just because I want to have every Zelda game in my collection. I don't like roguelikes, so this wasn't for me, but the music in this game is so good. The music in this game is excellent, so if nothing else, go look up on YouTube the playlist of that game soundtrack. One that I bought because I had some trade credit, but I haven't checked out yet. One I'd like to just kind of sit down at some point and check out, but Capcom Fighting Collection. This is a cool collection. This has some great stuff on it, and it just came out at a weird time where I didn't really, I didn't get a chance to check it out fully. But I mean, look at that lineup of just classic Capcom fighters. There's some great stuff in here. And really affordable. I think this is only like $40, and you get some really solid stuff on that. Catherine Full Body, great game, great Switch port as well. I played through the game on PS4 twice, and then I've played a little bit. I didn't go through a full playthrough on Switch, but nothing's been lost. There's absolutely nothing was lost in the conversion over to Switch. It's a great port of this game, and this is a great game if you've never played it. It is a Qbert-like game with a really interesting story and really interesting presentation. One that's really high. I bought this because I figured it would probably be hard to come by the time I want to play it. And one I really high on the backlog, probably early 2023. I'll get to this one. Chaos Head, Noah, and Chaos Child double pack. So this is part of the Science Adventure series, which the most famous game in that series is Steins Gate. Probably most people into visual novels know that. And these are just visual novels. I've heard these are both very good games. Steins Gate is excellent. That's probably the greatest visual novel of all time. And if these games are nearly as good, I mean, that would be incredible. So looking forward to checking those one out. Collection of Mana, another one I bought on sale and I haven't gotten a chance to play. Really cool that they got, Seiken Densetsu 3 out here for the first time ever as Trials of Mana. Never had that one before. Danganronpa Decadence. I really like the Danganronpa games. These Switch ports, from what I saw, were pretty solid. If you've never played these games, I highly recommend them. I don't want to go into too much to spoil them, but these games go off the wall in the best way possible, and the third game's my favorite by far. I think they just keep getting better as they go, and the third game's my favorite by far, and I don't know, everything about these games is just awesome. It's, if you don't know Danganronpa, it's very Ace Attorney inspired, where there's courtroom scenes and you know, murder mystery stuff. Really good stuff. Excellent games. We got an awesome game, Deadly Premonition Origins, which is just a port of the 360 game, Deadly Premonition, the sweary game. This port's not the best way to play it. I mean, the best way to play it's going to be just to track down a 360 disc and throw it into like an Xbox One, Xbox Series X. This is probably the second best way to play it. This port's not horrible, but it's not, you know, great. It's not like the PS3 port, which doesn't really good, or the PC port, which I don't think works at all. And this is such a great game, because I think a lot of people know this game already. This game is so fascinating to me. It is such an awesome example of a game with so much, you know, passion put into it. So much, you know, it's so, I can't even, what am I thinking? It's so bizarre. I can't even describe it otherwise. Thinking of this game left me speechless. They tried so hard, and it has about a $5 budget. But what you get out of it is an incredible experience. If you're willing to stick through some of the weirdness of the low budget and the hideous graphics, if you stick through it, you get an awesome game. That unfortunately cannot be said for the sequel, which I think is doo-doo. No. I regret that I did a video that was like underrated games that you should play on the Switch or whatever, and I put Deadly Premonition 1 and 2 on there, and I was still playing Deadly Premonition 2 at the time. I just started it, so I was like, okay, probably a safe bet. This game sucks. It's just bad. Sorry, Sweary. I know you follow me on Twitter as well as like 70,000 other people, but this game just sucks. Like, I don't know what they were thinking on this one. The graphics are just awful. Gameplay is just awful. Worse than the first game, which is kind of wild. Like, considerably worse than the first game, which is really wild. The story, you know, which is what you play this game for, that's what you troop through this for. The first game, I think, has a great story. This game does not. This game's story is just all over the place. It feels like there's no second act. Like, I don't know what was going on with this one, but it wasn't it. Stick to the first one. And if you have a morbid curiosity, check out the second one. It's not all bad, but it's not good. Disgaea 5 Complete. This was a pretty early release in the Switch, so I picked it up because, you know, I wanted to at least try this series. I'd never tried it before, but it's not really for me. Wasn't into it. Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Grabbed this one because I think it's kind of hard to get the physical, and I had always heard about this game, so I wanted to check it out, but once again, haven't gotten to it. Dragon Quest XI. This is another one on the backlog. I started it up, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty fun, but this is not exactly what I'm looking for right now. I'd have to play it in Japanese. I hated the voice acting in this game, I'm going to be honest. But, you know, this is like, you know, pretty high on the JRPG backlog just because I want to play a kind of a traditional JRPG soon. And this Switch port's really good. The Switch version is solid. Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This is the only time I've ever played Skyrim. Not really for me. You know, for a while I was like, I don't think Western role-playing games are for me. And then I played Cyberpunk, and I'm like, yeah, I like this game a lot. I just don't think Bethesda Western role-playing games are for me, because I tried Fallout 4 and I tried this, and I was not really into either of them. So it's not really my thing. But really impressive Switch port. Solid Switch port. Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster. A bit disappointing because X-2 is not on the cartridge. It's on a stupid slip. But I really like Final Fantasy X. I've still never played X-2, but I really like Final Fantasy X, and this is a great port of it. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Definitely a top 5 Switch game for me. I just think this game's really good. The graphics, once again, not very good. I don't think Koei Tecmo knows what anti-aliasing is. But I really liked the gameplay. I liked the things that they added to try to kind of beef up the world overall and kind of add extra things to do. And I really liked just kind of the overall class system and everything like that, like how you had these different routes you could go on and different classes and different characters that you could kind of have within you. Really good. I picked like probably what is the worst route that you could do, and I still had a great time with it. So top 5 for sure. Looking forward to the next one. Fire Emblem Warriors. I don't really like Warriors games that much. They're fine, but they're not really my thing. I liked the Fire Emblem spin on this one. From what I played of it, I never beat it or anything, but I liked the Fire Emblem spin having a little bit more tactical gameplay mixed in with the Warriors format, but not exactly my thing. Close, though. You got close, at least. So, of course, I bought Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes at some point. I'm going to be honest, guys, I forgot this game existed, and I forgot that I even owned it. I remember getting this with trade credit, but I've heard actually really good things about this, and I should probably try it out, because I've heard much better things about this one than Age of Calamity and everything. So I should probably just try that out, but not high on my list, because I'm not huge on that gameplay. Game I am huge on, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, so I finally beat this. I'm a big Ace Attorney fan, so it was kind of weird that I didn't beat this for last year's video. I didn't even beat the first one at that point. But I played it on PS4. I wanted to have a sealed copy for the collection, but I played it on PS4. On the PS5. But this is so the first Great Ace Attorney game I think is good. There's a couple cases on that one that I don't really like. But I think it ends strong. I really like the last case on that one. And I'm trying to think, the fourth case too. And the third one. I just don't like really how it starts out too much. I think it's a little bit boring. I think these games are a little bit too long, like to play through both games, which I feel like we really lucked out in the West in hindsight, knowing that these games came out with 2 years in between them. Knowing now that like we got them at the same time, these games really, really, really benefit by being played through at the same time, because so much from 2 draws from 1, and it feels like one big game rather than 2 individual games. And these games are a bit too long. Like they're like, I think it took me like 65 hours or something to play through both of them. But the second game is so good in this. The second game is top tier Ace Attorney. And just great case after great case after great case. Really great overall experience too. I think if the first game it doesn't thrill you, you play through the second game immediately after the first, and it kind of brings it up in hindsight because it feels like one big experience. So highly recommended. Continuing on here, I don't know why. I guess alphabetically this makes sense. Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. I popped this one in, kind of interested to check it out because I was like, oh, that's a really cool concept. It's kind of like a Crisis Core situation for Hyrule Warriors. And then like the first cutscene shows you that it's like alternate universe, like kind of lame. Didn't really like that. And then the game ran at like 15 frames per second. So didn't play much more of it just because it was like, I don't know, maybe different Switch. But I don't know. And then because I played Hyrule Warriors on Wii U pretty extensively. I just wanted to have every Zelda game in my collection, so I have a definitive edition as well. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I really liked this game. This was a really delightful game. I'm glad Kirby has a 3D platformer now. I'm glad it's as good and as fun as it is here. I didn't play Star Allies because I was kind of burnt out on, classic 2D Kirby, so that was really, really a great change of pace for the series. Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series. Yeah, I really like the classic Klonoa games. If you've never played Klonoa, I never played the second one, and I haven't played the HD version yet. But if you never played Klonoa, which you probably haven't, because to buy a PS1 copy of that game, it's like $500. Definitely give this one a go. This is a really good remake of it, and it's a pretty fun game. Continuing on, L.A. Noire. I liked this game. You know, I like detective games and mystery games, so I mean, it's more up my alley. I know this one's kind of controversial, but I think it's pretty cool. I like the presentation a lot. It's a little dated. The face thing is a little goofy, but you know, the acting's good, and it's a really cool kind of period piece, kind of cool setting. So weird that they brought that to Switch and like only that. They didn't ever bring Grand Theft Auto 5 over. So bizarre. Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero. This is another one that I really want to play because I've heard this game's excellent, but what I do is when RPGs like this come out, I just grab a copy when it's new before it becomes hard to get. So when this came out, I was like, yeah, I'll get this day one just because I want to have it. So when it goes out of print, it's not like $70 for a used copy, you know? So I did the same with Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4 as well. I played Trails of Cold Steel 1 and I really liked it a lot. And then I started 2. And then something else came out, so I couldn't. I stopped playing it, and then never went back. And that was in like 2016. So I'd like to at some point play Trails of Cold Steel 2 and keep with the series because I really, really like that series. But they're long games. I don't know. I got things to do. Breath of the Wild. There's nothing I can say that hasn't been said about Breath of the Wild. I really like it a lot. Really looking forward to the follow-up. I'm hoping that the dungeons are a little better, just because that was like the one thing I didn't like. I hated the stupid divine beasts. I thought that was one of the stupidest kind of levels. And you know, the shrines are okay, but I really want like traditional Zelda dungeons, and then it's like the ideal Zelda game. Zelda Link's Awakening. So I really like this remake. This is really good. I never played the original Link's Awakening for very long. Just because I'm not huge on the original Game Boy, not my favorite, and some of the stuff in this game is a little bit obtuse, but I think it's a really good remake. The visual style is really, really nice, and I'd love to see more games in a visual style like that, maybe even more Zelda games. But this is a great remake and a great game. Skyward Sword HD. This is a game that I've never had my opinions on this game change around so much. So when I first started on the Wii, I liked it. And then I kind of grew to not like it very much as I continued to play it on the Wii. And then my opinion kind of soured on it for a while. And then I was like, I'll give it a second chance on the Switch. And I was like, man, half of this game is really, really great. And then there's a good chunk of this game that is horrible padding, filler, nonsense. You'll go through the dungeons in this game are some of the best Zelda dungeons ever. You'll go through like this awesome dungeon, and then you'll be swimming around for 15 minutes collecting music notes underwater, and it's like, well, who said this was a good idea? Like, I don't know. This game could be an all-timer in the Zelda kind of pantheon of games if it just trimmed the fat. There's so much junk in this game, but as it is, I still think it's good, but a little bit disappointing just in the idea that, there's so much padding and filler that could have just not been there. Live Alive. I really like the 2D HD art style. I played like played a little bit of this game. It's different, like characters have like different stories and everything. I played like one of the character stories. And it's one I'd like to get back to and play more of. It's cool that you can kind of play it's like you're playing little mini JRPGs. Like, okay, go on like 2 hours, play a little mini JRPG, and then I put the game away and come back to it another time I'm in the mood for that. Cool concept, cool idea. Obviously, a Super Famicom game we didn't get, so they remade it for Switch, and I can't argue with that. Another, I would say, top 5 Switch games, Luigi's Mansion 3. Really good stuff. This game is just a ton of fun. Really well designed. One of the graphically the best games on the Switch. Animations are really good. Next Level Games is really talented. They're a great studio. Nintendo kind of almost found them out of nowhere. They were making like they made Spider-Man Friend or Foe and that Captain America MCU tie-in game. And they've really gone on to do some great stuff. And I think this game is kind of their best yet, and it's a ton of fun. Don't sleep on this one. I know probably everyone's played that one, but one of the all-timers on the system. Got the Mario and Rabbids games. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hopes. These were really good games. The first game feels almost like a kind of proof of concept in a way. The second game is, I think, so much better. It has really expanded on the whole formula, expanded on pretty much everything that you can do with the first game, and I really liked the second game a lot. The first game's still fun, and you can get it for cheap, and I'd recommend it. But the second game just blows it out of the water. It's so much better of a game. And if you would have told me that the best Mario RPG series going on in the year 2022 would be a strategy RPG like XCOM that you crosses over with the Rayman Rabbids, I would have probably thought you were ill. So crazy. I mean, not only that, but it's developed by Ubisoft. It's not even developed by Nintendo. Not even published by Nintendo. I mean, I would have thought you were ill. I would never believed it. Mario Golf Super Rush. I like this one a lot. I had a lot of fun playing this one online with friends. If you don't have friends to play this one online with, you're not going to probably have very much fun with it because it's a little lacking in content. I thought the story mode was really boring, but I had fun with it. I like how they kept adding content to it for a while, and now I think if you got the game, you get a pretty complete game. But I don't know. I'm like half and half on the content drops, just because half of me thinks like this should probably be all in the game at the same time, and then half of me is like, oh, okay, that's kind of makes an event out of like, oh, there's 2 new stages in Mario Golf, so I don't know. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I've talked about Mario Kart 8 probably more than any game on this channel between, every single year's Switch collection videos and every single year's Wii U collection videos that I did back then. Mario Kart 8's great. Everyone has played this game. It's not like I'm introducing you to a brand new game you've never heard of. This is a great game, and this is the definitive version of a great game. And I'm really glad that they're doing the DLC and just adding more to this. Like adding the mobile games tracks were really cool. Adding the mobile game tracks were really cool just because it was like a brand new game to me. I didn't play the mobile game, and when they redo like Game Boy Advance stages and stuff like that, that's cool because it's almost like brand new courses. So good stuff. Mario Party Superstars, one of my favorite Switch games. I am huge on Mario Party, and all I wanted for a while was like good Mario Party. Like you had Super Mario Party, wasn't very good, no online play until they patched it in later. But this game is like online play out the gate. ND Cubed can't make a Mario Party to save their life, so they just take Hudson's old Mario Party stuff and kind of slap it together, put a fresh coat of paint, online play. It's all I wanted. That's all I needed was this, and it's just good. It's just fun. I wish they would add a few more boards, but I don't think they're going to by this point. Mario Strikers Battle League. Like I said, next level is pretty talented. I don't know, I feel like this game kind of fell off the face of the planet pretty quick. The animations and the art style go hard, but I picked this game up, and then I realized I don't like soccer even slightly, so I don't know. But the art and the animation is always really striking, no pun intended. Mario Tennis Aces, I felt like this one was a dud. I don't know. Tennis isn't exactly the most interesting video game sport to me. I prefer golf, I prefer baseball. I'm not thrilled about playing tennis, but that weird Infinity War story mode that they did was really bizarre, and I don't know. It kind of felt lacking in content. I mean, not as lacking in content as the stupid Wii U game. That was abysmal, but didn't really hold my interest. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 Black Order. This one was fun. Very weird that Nintendo got this. They published it, locked it down as exclusive. Team Ninja developed it. Very, very weird, but I don't know, fun little game to play. I like that one. Mega Man 11. Mega Man 11's fine. It's not great or anything. Like it's not as good as any of the NES Mega Man games. I mean, it's probably better than Mega Man 1. I'll give it that at least. But a lot of times 2.5D can look a little bit cheap, and I think this game kind of has a nice enough art style where it looks good, but I would have just rather have sprites. I know that's a lot harder, but I would have loved to have sprite work, but hopefully we get some more Mega Man soon. This is the highest selling Mega Man game, so I'm sure we'll see something from Mega Man soon. But you know, perfectly fine game. If you like Mega Man, you'll probably like it. I just felt like they added a little bit too much to it. The stages weren't, you know, super memorable, and they added just a little bit too much where I was like, you know, it wasn't broken. You don't really need to fix it. You're adding, you know, it was already perfect to begin with. Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2. Great compilations of great games. And then, same thing. I mean, I have nothing really different to say. Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1 and 2. Great compilations of mostly great games. You could probably skip out on Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2. There's some 7 and 8. Some duds on there. Then I haven't played this. These are games I've wanted to play for a while, but I just haven't yet. These were Inti Creates developed Mega Man games, Mega Man 0 and ZX. I never played any of these. I know they were on like GBA and like DS. Never played any of them, so I'd like to get to that eventually. Next time I'm in a Mega Man mood. The Missing. This is a sweary game. I haven't played it yet. I actually have it. I wanted to have this for the collection sealed, and then I have just a digital copy on PS4 for when I want to play it. But I've heard good things about that, so, you know, my faith in swear is a little low right now because of Deadly Premonition 2, but, you know, not The Missing. What was that game? The Good Life. Ugh. My faith in him's a little low, so maybe I'll need to go back to that to remind me why I liked him in the first place. Monster Hunter Rise. I'm not really into Monster Hunter. This is probably the most I've gotten into Monster Hunter. Although I played a decent amount of Generations too, I guess, but I don't want to play 3DS Monster Hunter. But yeah, I mean, this is really good. Really impressive what they could do for the RE engine on the Switch. I mean, it still looks like a Switch game, but it's one of the better looking Switch games. Online, I thought was pretty good, if a little convoluted, but that's kind of to be expected from a Japanese developed game. But yeah, it's Monster Hunter. Subscribe to Sky85 on YouTube, best Monster Hunter YouTuber of all time. New Pokemon Snap. Everyone wanted a new Pokemon Snap, and then I don't know if anyone I never heard really anyone talk of it, and that includes me, because I kept it sealed. I bought it with the intention of playing it, and then I just haven't. We got here Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Pretty fun Smash Brothers clone. You can tell it's on a budget. You can tell it's definitely not, you know, on the same level or even close to Smash Brothers, but it's not bad. I'm glad they patched in voices because it was kind of awkward having all these characters just beat each other up in an abject silence. But I thought it was fun. I mean, it's not going to, you know, blow you away or anything, but I don't think it's bad by any means. Good time. I mean, of Smash Brothers clones, it's definitely high up there of licensed Smash Brothers clones. It's better than the Cartoon Network one and, you know, PlayStation All-Stars. And probably Multiverses. I haven't played that one, but it doesn't look very good. Night Trap. Night Trap will never appear on a Nintendo system. There it is. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. I got this on clearance because I like the No More Heroes games, but this one didn't really interest me. I got this on clearance, and then it like skyrocketed in price, and now I don't want to unseal it. I haven't heard great things about this one, but I really like that, you know, No More Heroes 1, 2, and to a lesser extent 3, but speak of the devil, we got it right here. No More Heroes 3. Combat in this game is really good. Everything else is not really good. Open world just seems completely unfinished. Graphics are really bad. They're much less, you know, visually appealing than like Wii games, which is really bad. But combat feels really good. Bosses are really good. Just some really crazy stuff going on. I mean, overall a fun game, but just, I don't know, needed some more time in the oven or something, or more budget. I don't know what's going on. Interested to see what Grasshopper does next. Octopath Traveler. This game was like the video game equivalent of Melatonin for me. I don't know. I just thought this game was so boring. Just the voice acting was like I was getting read like a Winnie the Pooh book on tape to go to sleep, like I'm a baby. You know, everything in the combat I think goes at like a snail's pace. Random encounters, my opinion of them is that like I just don't want them in the game anymore. There was a technical limitation reason for it. I don't want it anymore. So I hate random encounters. This game has them, which I think is just weak. I don't know. I know a lot of people like this game, and it's not bad, but it's just I did not click with it at all when I played it when it came out. Paper Mario Origami King. I got this one, but then it came out the same day as Ghost of Tsushima, and I played that instead, and then never played this one. But I've heard good things. I would like to play it eventually. You know, I've heard at least better things than Color Splash and Sticker Star, if nothing else. Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I like Pikmin 3 a ton on Wii. It's a great game. On Wii U. It's a great game. I want to play this before Pikmin 4 is the only thing I can say. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I had fun with Let's Go Eevee. It's probably the most fun I've had with a Pokemon game in a while. I think it's just because I'm an unironic Gen 1er, because I just can't fathom any more Pokemon besides the Gen 1 ones. There's just too many of them now. There's over 1,000 now. I can't figure these guys out. But I had fun with it. I like the one-handed kind of gameplay of it. I like the simplified gameplay of it. I just kind of liked running through Gen 1 again. Yeah. I had fun with it. I thought it was fine. Games I didn't quite have as much fun with. Well, I didn't play Shield, but Pokemon Sword. I also have Shield Sealed, which is a great rhyme. Yeah, I felt like I felt like I was doing nothing in these games and winning. I was just pressing A bunch and then I would win. Just way too easy. Just way too easy. But I don't know. I've been on my Pokemon rant before of I think adult Pokemon fans who get furious about Pokemon need to realize that Pokemon's not exactly made for them. So, I don't know. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, kind of overpriced remakes of, Generation 4. But I played Brilliant Diamond. I had fun with what I played. I didn't finish it, but I had fun with what I played. But I wasn't, like, blown away or anything. Then I have a sealed double pack of Scarlet and Violet. I bought this. I don't know. I'm really good at wasting money, you guys can see. I bought it, but I don't know. I don't really want to play it. It doesn't look very good. I promise you I don't waste this much money. I got a lot of sealed stuff I collect as well, but, I play video games, guys, I promise, but I don't know. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Man, I'm coming across as really negative this last, couple minutes. I thought this game was not very good. I know, I'm sorry, guys. I know a lot of people really like this one, but there's some people who are like, this is a great open world game. This is like the next generation of open world games, and it's going to inspire so much. And I'm thinking, like, man, you got to play more video games, because this is like if this game was named like Hank's Adventure and published by 505 Games and didn't have anything to do with Pokemon, everyone would give this game like a 5 out of 10. Like, it's not bad, once again, but it's just unremarkable. There's way too much talking. I don't care about the story in this game at all. And it's an interesting step for the series. I commend it for that. It finally, did something different, but wasn't thrilled in the graphics. Guys, Game Freak, come on. I'm not going to go on the Game Freak rant, but I feel like if you have the most popular media franchise of all time, the highest grossing media franchise of all time, you can probably put a little bit more of a budge into your games. Make them not look like they're on the GameCube. Ring Fit Adventure, really fun fitness game. Really interesting idea. Something that only Nintendo would make. Fitness RPG with that ring. And, I mean, it's pretty hardcore, honestly. It's a really fun, interesting idea. And, I haven't heard too much of people being like, yeah, this really helped me. I lost a lot of weight. But for what it is, I think it's pretty good. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster. Haven't gotten around to it yet. But like I said, I just like to collect RPGs on Atlas stuff too. And just get it before it ends up getting expensive. Another example of that is Silver Case 2425. High up on the backlog just because I've heard good things. It's a Grasshopper Suda 51 game. And Heard it's pretty bizarre, pretty wild, so would like to check it out. But it's another one I just was like, I got to get this when it comes out because the print run's probably really low, and I am not gonna pay, super much for something that's, out of print and used or whatever. South Park Butthole, fun game. I like this one. I don't think I've ever actually seen a full episode of South Park before, but this is a pretty fun and funny game. And yeah, surprisingly good RPG as well. Really good art style that's like distinct to the show. It looks like an episode of the show. Had a good time with this one. Would like to see another one of these, but it doesn't seem like that's they're out there going with the South Park games. Splatoon 2, I thought this game was a bit of a disappointment when it came out. Just a lot of little things. It's an overall good game, but then it's just like death by a thousand cuts of like annoying online, weird rules. Not the game's fault, but the meta, like everyone playing this game is like 5 years old, so they just are bad. Online was just horrible, so you were constantly getting disconnects and the teams were uneven, so you're always going to lose. Just constant little things that brought the game down. Fun campaign overall, but I feel like Splatoon 3 really came in and kind of fixed up all the problems I had with Splatoon. And yeah, I really like Splatoon 3 quite a bit. I think it's a big step up for the series, and it's just a fun multiplayer game. I really like Splatoon as a multiplayer game too, which is just like why Splatoon 2 is like, oh, you almost got it right, and you just got it everything a little. It was like everything was just a little bit wrong, but luckily 3 came in and kind of saved the day, in my opinion. Streets of Rage 4, really awesome, classic style brawler, great art style, great music, guys. The music is great. Solid game. Starlink, Battle for Atlas. I got this with the whole starter pack that comes with the R-Wing for $8. That's about my only experience with it. Was buying it. Super Bomberman R. I like this art style a lot on the cover. This was a Switch launch game, so I feel like everyone has that one game that they buy just because it's on the system at the time. It's Bomberman. There's more in-depth Bomberman games. There's better Bomberman games, but it's still a fun Bomberman experience. And I think, aren't they coming out with a sequel for this? They could maybe expand on it there, but I think they're not going to quite sell as many copies as they did just because the game was one of the only Switch launch games. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Great games. Great to have them on the Switch. The whole, taking this off of sale was an odd choice. And, overall, you could say the package is a little bit lazy with how they just kind of slapped some ROMs and some soundtracks on there and called it a day. But just to have these games on the Switch is worth it for me, so I can't complain. Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Mario 3D World is a really great game. I feel like a lot of people were upset with it and didn't like it as much on the Wii U just because there was no real Mario 3D game. But now that we have Odyssey, and this is just kind of a fun game from the past that's kind of its own thing, I think time has fared a lot better on it, and people realize I've always liked this game, so I'm not going to try to be revisionist, but a lot of people were disappointed with this one. But I think things have fared a lot better, and it's just a genuinely fun game, fun co-op, and the Bowser's Fury expansion was really good. I just want to see more 3D Mario. That's all I want. Mario Maker 2, haven't played it. I got this on sale. I played Mario Maker 1 a little bit, but I don't want to make Mario. I just want to play Mario. And a lot of people's online levels are pretty crap, or they're like auto playing levels, which is neat, but it gets a little old. I've heard that this has some good Nintendo made levels on it, so maybe one day when I'm in the mood for some 2D Mario, I'll check it out. Mario Odyssey, this is my favorite Switch game. I think this game is just one of the most fun games you can play. Like, it just feels, Mario feels so good. The music is just so jolly and so fun. Controls are great. Visually, I think it looks really nice. The level, I like the level and world diversity. They're very interesting. I like what it does to the Mario universe. It kind of expands it and adds some really weird stuff, like New Donk City and the different worlds and everything. This game is just an all-timer. Top 10 all-time game for me. Favorite Switch game. This game is awesome, and I just want more 3D Mario. I want Mario Odyssey 2. That's all I want. That's all I want out of life. Super Mario Party, kind of talked about it with the other one, but I hated the sideways Joy-Con thing. That was such a mistake, I think, for this game. Just let us play with a Pro controller, and the boards were like too small. I feel like you could just get stuck in different parts of the boards. I think the boards were just really poorly designed in this one. Mini games are fine, but not one that I'm really aching to go back to now that Superstars is out. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. I like the old Monkey Ball games, and yeah, this is a pretty fun little kind of remake, you know, combining the different games from the classic games and everything kind of all together. Really good package here, and a fun game overall. Although I think they altered the physics a little bit, which has made some Monkey Ball diehards a little. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, a really impressive game. I mean, it's crazy what they were able to do, how much content is in this game, how many characters they had at the base roster, and then how many they were just able to add through DLC. The roster is really, really good. It feels really good to play. Just a really awesome game. I mean, I'm not, you know, everyone knows this game is great, but it's just really impressive what they were able to do and kind of how good this is, and I just don't know how they're going to top it for another Smash Brothers game in the future. I just don't think they can. I don't know. I mean, they always could. They could, but do you do it again? Do you get everything back and then go more? Like, I don't know how you do it. Sushi Striker. I got this on sale on clearance for like really cheap, but I've heard good things, but I've heard it's better to play on the 3DS, so I don't know. 6 games in 1 time management game collection. This was on clearance at GameStop for $2 or something like that, and I thought it was funny that this game exists. It looks horrible. GS2 Games, I mean, they have probably the worst publisher logo of anyone. It's so not slick. It looks like something you could make in Microsoft Paint. But yeah, I was just infatuated with the idea that this game exists. I don't know why as well. There's a little bit of a thing like cut out of the Switch logo that usually it's just a box, but then this one is missing a little thing. I'm fascinated with the existence of this game and why they would try to sell it in the first place. But here it is. Time management game collection. I don't know why it's time management either, because it looks like time wasters, to be honest. I don't know. Underrated game, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore. So a port of the Wii U game that no one played, and then they ported to Switch and no one played it there either. Really fun game. This originally started off as Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem and kind of merged into a Persona game where your personas are like classic Fire Emblem characters. Story is, you know, nothing. It's barely there. But the characters are fun. There's some cool like ways to level them up. And the battle system is one of my favorite RPG battle systems of all time. It's so fun. Feels so good to like rack up combos and everything and rack up these different like moves and everything. Great game. Highly recommend that one. More people need to play that game because it's awesome. Triangle Strategy. Haven't dived into this one yet. I've heard it's great. I really want to play it, but haven't dived into it. Undertale, played this one on Vita, but I wanted to have a physical copy for the collection. I really like Undertale. I mean, once again, another game that there's nothing I can really say about it. It's iconic. It's legendary. Music's awesome. It has a lot of character. Good stuff. Valkyria Chronicles 4, another great game. You guys need to stop sleeping on Valkyria Chronicles, because Valkyria Chronicles is a great series. You don't need to play 1, 2, or 3 to enjoy 4. You can get this game for really cheap. You can get the first game on the Switch for really cheap. 2 and 3 were PSP games, are a little bit different. But however you do it, they're great strategy games. You're on the field, have an awesome art style, good stories, just really good games. I don't know. You guys got to stop sleeping on Valkyria Chronicles. Perfect Switch game because there's really no, loss of quality from the regular PS4 version. WarioWare, get it together. I mean, it's a good WarioWare game, I guess. It's pretty good, but I don't know how they felt like they could get away with charging $50 for this, because you can really see like everything there is to see in about 3 hours. But fun WarioWare game, a lot of character, a lot of personality. I like the kind of gimmick of having different playable characters that you can do the games in different ways. But I don't know, should have been like $30. World's End Club Deluxe Edition. So this is from the Tokyo Games studio that Danganronpa creator Kazutaka Kodaka and then the Zero Escape AI guy Kotaro Uchikoshi made a new studio, and this was kind of like their first official game. They did that game, Death Come True or whatever, which was like a FMV game. And then they did this one. It has like the Pokemon character designer did the characters. The character designs are good. And the game looks pretty nice for a Switch game, but just didn't feel like there was much to it. It's okay, but nothing spectacular. World Ends With You Final Remix. I got this and then I kind of realized, like, yeah, the DS version seems to be the way to play it. I never played through the DS version all the way. I started it, but never played through it all the way. But another thing where I just, might as well get Neo before it becomes expensive. Because I'd like to play through these games eventually. They're definitely up my alley. Got some Xenoblade. Xenoblade Chronicles, that's my favorite one. I played it on the Wii back in the day. And this is a great, definitive edition, kind of half remake, upgrade type game. Really impressed with it. I think it's really good. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I'm not super hot on. I gotta say, I just gotta say, I hate the characters in this game. I just don't like them one bit. And I feel like it's a little bit obtuse for its own good. Some of the leveling stuff is really annoying in this game. The tutorialization is not great. And the voice acting is so bad and the dialogue is so bad. Not super hot on this game. The game itself is fun. It has good combat, but I feel like a lot of the stuff in there, it's really impressive too. The world and everything is really good, but I feel like a lot of the stuff in there just doesn't quite, cut it for me. And then Xenoblade 3, which I have yet to finish. It's one I've kind of just been chipping away on in the background. Xenoblade 3 I think is really good, and kind of fixed everything I didn't like about Xenoblade 2. And kind of made me realize, like, okay, yeah, this series is really good. It wasn't just a one and done, because I didn't really like Xenoblade X either. So I was like, yeah, it's not just a one and done. This series is really good, and 2 was just really not my thing. But I know a lot of people like it, and I don't think it's bad. I'm just not super hot on it. Moving on here. Yoshi's Crafted World, not my favorite. It's a little bit too simple. Would be fun if you had like a kid who's just getting into video games, and like, yes, that's the target audience. I get it. I'm not the target audience, but would be really fun if you had a kid to play with you, and could kind of do it that way, like you were trying to introduce your child to video games. But if you are a grown man playing this game by himself, listening to the horrible music this game has, and just kind of feeling a little bit, it starts to feel monotonous. Not one of my favorites, but not bad. Another example of I want to get this before it goes up in price, Ys 9. So I haven't played it, don't have anything to say. Yuru Kill, this was like an impulse buy. I heard good things about this. It's like a visual novel crossed with a shooter, like a space shooter, like a shoot 'em up. And I've heard good things, but I haven't played it. I forgot I bought this game. So, but I've heard good things. I got really good reviews. So, some Steelbook games I have at the end that I forgot to kind of mix in better with the rest of the game. So I got Metroid Dread Steelbook for that. And I liked Metroid Dread a lot. I thought it was really good. I've never been too huge on 2D Metroidvanias. It's not my favorite genre, so that kind of shows that this is a really, really good game. I think Mercury Steam did a great job, and I think this is a very, very solid game. What else we got here? Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 Royal is one of my favorite games of all time. I have this one sealed. I bought the Once More Collector's Edition just because I collect Persona stuff and Atlas stuff, and so I got the Switch version just because I thought it would be fun to have a Switch copy. And then they send the game out like way early, and I still haven't got the Collector's Edition, so I don't know what's up with that, but I got the game at least. Probably no intentions to play it anytime soon again. I just played it on PS4 not that long ago, when it came out on the Royal version. But Persona 5 Royal is excellent. I mean, an all-time great game, great art style, great music, incredible story, like just the complete package when it comes to video games. And now the fact that it's on Switch, the Switch version seems really solid. It's on Xbox, it's on PC, it's on PS4 and PS5. No reason not to play it because it is a great game. Shin Megami Tensei 5. I found myself a little bit bored with this one. It's one I want to go back to and give another shot, but when I played a decent chunk of it, probably about 12 hours or so, I found myself a little bit bored with kind of the open world exploration. I liked the team building and everything, party building, and I liked the combat and the overall structure of the game. The minute to minute I was a little bit bored by. I just felt like you were kind of I wish there was like dungeons or something, and I think there might be once you get later into the game. I've heard it gets better, but starting out in like the opening area just feels a little bit bland and directionless. And Wonderful 101 to end it all out. I liked this game a lot on the Wii U. I backed it on Kickstarter for the Switch version, and then didn't play the Switch version because I heard it wasn't a great version of the game. But if you don't have a Wii U and you don't have any other way to play this one, it's still a really good game to play. Really fun one. So check that out. That's it. I'm starting to get a sore throat for talking for 56 minutes straight about the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, I like the Nintendo Switch. I have some opinions about some games that might not be popular, but I think the Nintendo Switch is doing great. Has a great lineup of games. And you really can't go wrong with this library. Like, a library this big is incredible. And a system that has time management game collection on it. I just don't see how you can't say that's a huge dub. So if you like this video, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what your favorite Switch games are, if there's any that I should get that I don't have in my collection. Check out my game room tour I just uploaded last week. It's a pretty good game room tour. Follow me on Twitter at ObjoGaming. And until next time, I'd like to thank you for watching.